Hello everyone and welcome back to a brand new episode of your favourite Formula 1 show. Yes, Jamie and I return this weekend to preview the Monaco Grand Prix. Of course, the jewel in the Formula 1 crown, usually the most hyped race of the entire season. But we have one saving grace this year, Jamie, don't we? It's basically going to be all the talk of this week's podcast because finally, Monaco's a two-stop.
It is, and to be fair, us two in the past have been not as critical of Monaco as some other podcasters or other F1 people. I really like Monaco, even in the past. Obviously the race last year was horrendous, but that was mostly down to this fact that we had an early red flag, which, as we know, I'm not a big fan of early red flags in safety cars because they take any strategy element away from a race. So I feel, it was obviously the tip of the iceberg in terms of something needed to change. A horrendous race like that is going to make something change, but it's not as bad a race as people. Well, it is. It depends what you're watching for. I quite like the fact that we still go to Monaco, despite how enormous the cars are and how much you can't overtake. I still think it's worth keeping on the calendar. I know you believe the same, so there we go.
Yeah, Monaco is, like we've said before, and it's a shame that I think since the last time we spoke about this, of course, now Spa isn't on the calendar every year. But there should absolutely be something in place that states that Silverstone, Monza, Belgium and Monaco should never not be on the calendar, because those are kind of the four crown jewel events, if you will.
Of Formula 1 race.
Exactly, of Formula 1 race. They've stood the test of time since day one. They should all be there, in my opinion, as well. And, we do still see all of them on the calendar at the moment. Obviously, Belgium's moving to an alternate schedule. I think Monza, of course, is going to be safe. Silverstone's going to be safe. But, Formula E raced at Monaco a few weeks back, Jamie. And once again has proven Monaco isn't the problem. It's the cars. Because although, yes, Formula E, you've got the attack mode and this, that, and the other. But even this year, where it's not just kind of racing in... What do they call it in, the Tour de France with the peloton, isn't it? Formula E had a big problem with the peloton a couple of years ago, but this year they don't have that issue, and it still delivered a good race two good races actually. Once again, it is just the cars that are the big issue here, and well, it's not often we hype up Formula E.
No, maybe we should bring attack mode in. That's a joke. We should not do that. I don't think it's just the cars, to be perfectly honest, because you could look back 20 years and you still could barely overtake. But it is slightly harder now. You've gone from maybe 5 or 10 overtakes a race to next to none in 2025. And
I think even then you're probably being a little bit optimistic about some of those older Grand Prix as well.
Yeah.
To be completely honest with you. But, again, you kind of... The big show is Saturday, isn't it, with Monaco?
Exactly.
I've always said as well they should try and completely shake up the format. And although they're not quite going to the extremes I would like to see, they are obviously, like we said, trying to do this two-stop strategy. We'll talk about that in just a minute, Jamie, because we've got a couple of other admin bits to get through first of all. Number one, McLaren bringing a special livery. And number two, Ferrari bringing special race suits, as far as we're aware, because we still, at the time of recording, haven't actually seen whether they're doing a livery or not.
No, yes. The McLaren is decent, though. I don't hate it.
I like it.
It could be cleaner. There's a lot of colours going on still because of sponsorship deals and whatnot, but I do like it. It's a shame that since 2021, when they bought the best special livery of all time, with that Golf McLaren, they haven't quite hit the same heights. But it's all right.
No. And obviously they can't really do Golf again because Williams might take umbrage to that, you'd expect. Yeah. Although maybe a bit of free advertising, they wouldn't complain about too much either. But, I mean, the McLaren special livery last year was good. But, obviously... We do tend to get a lot of Senna tribute liveries, but, the man saw so much success around Monaco with that team. I think that's fair enough.
Isaac Hadjar as well.
This year,
done a special
Isaac Hadjar is doing a Senna special livery as well. I thought we might see one from Gabriele Bortoletto, but
his
I don't
entire
think
helmet for the season is a Senna tribute, really, isn't it?
Well, exactly. So fair play to him as well. But Ferrari, though, they're doing another white race suit. But we don't know if the car's changed. So it seems like every team wants to dress their drivers like a butler this weekend. But Ferrari, because it was always interesting, wasn't it, last year? McLaren changed everything on that livery apart from the mirrors. both drivers demanded that the mirrors stay the normal colour because, of course, they're such an important reference point to obviously know where the wheels are.
That's interesting.
So maybe that's why Ferrari haven't done a livery, because Charles and Lewis are both there going...
done something. But
there's a bit more white on it.
It's going to be slightly
but
whiter.
It's behind the driver.
Have a special logo for F175 by the looks of it. But it's basically red to all intents and purposes. It looks like a Ferrari, and that's fine because that's what they've been for the last 75 years. So we can't really knock them for it. I'm wearing a Ferrari hat today because it was the one closest to me when we started recording. So, and Charles Leclerc is obviously going to back up last year's win with this year's win.
Oh, there you go. Jamie's locked that in, ladies and gents. That's his prediction done. Ready for this weekend's Grand Prix. So thank you very much. Let's talk about the biggest thing, though, isn't it, Jamie? The two-stop strategy. We must have already got into conversation for about 10 minutes before we started the show, just debating how this is going to work. Because honestly, unless we kind of see some extra rules that we haven't been able to find online, this could still be open to manipulation, mightn't it?
Yeah, definitely. And it's, as far as I know, I did watch a video from the race, kind of explaining it a little bit. There's nothing like you get an F2, so that it's not like you can't pit under safety car, or virtual safety car, sorry, isn't it? So your mandatory stops can be whenever. They don't need to be, apart from red flag, that doesn't count. The rule is you have to do 2 pit stops, and you have to run 2 different compounds of tyre. And the 2 pit stop rule is the same wet or dry, which I found quite interesting.
Yeah, fascinating.
It could really spice it up, because on the normal Monaco race without red flags, that's the problem. Is last year the race was ruined because the only rule in play was 2 different compounds of tyre, and everyone did that by changing the compound after lap 1 with the red flag.
Yep.
If we had this rule in place last year, that wouldn't have mattered, because you still have to go through the pit lane to change tyres twice from that point onwards.
Yes.
I just think we're going to get so much variation in what the teams try and do, and it depends a lot on obviously qualifying. Depends how close your 2 teammates are on the grid in what sort of games you can play. I'm just really excited to see what the strategists come up with, to be honest, because we were talking pre-show. It reminds me of Qatar 23, was it?
Yes, yeah.
Where it was obviously effectively an enforced 3-stop, because it was 17 laps on a set of tyres, and therefore to make the stints work you had to go through the pit lane 3 times, once every 17 laps. And Sauber in particular, with Bottas and Zhou, were very clever in the way that they did. I'm trying to remember rightly, I think it was a 54 lap race, 53 lap race or something, and basically they pit as soon as you could in order to do the rest of the race on 3 stints of 17 laps, from the soft to the medium, and then did or medium to the hard. I can't remember exactly what tyres it was. But yeah, I just think we're in for a treat, because teams are going to be playing all sorts of games. You might get a Kevin Magnussen in Jeddah situation where you've got somebody backing up a massive pack to try and get a gap for their teammate, stuff like that. I'm just very excited. I'm slightly worried because Verstappen will be on his own at the front, and you're going to have 2 McLarens, 2 Mercedes. Yeah, it's going to be a rough one.
Oh, sorry, as in he won't have his teammate there to back him up. I get you now. I thought you just meant he was going to be light years ahead of everybody else.
No.
I mean, the big question is, Jamie, let's put a hypothetical out there. We get another crash like we did on lap 1 last year, but instead of a red flag, it's a safety car. What stops you then just pitting twice immediately?
Well, I think they
will. In the first 2 laps. And then
it depends on grid position, because, if you are second on the grid, for instance, or even pole, if you're on pole, you're not going to take the risk of pitting twice, because say the rest of the grid doesn't pit, then you're stuck behind 19 cars, and the driver in the lead will easily gap you, and you have lost that free pit stop advantage. I think the back 5 or 6 cars would absolutely be doing this. Which will just make it really interesting, I think, because then you've got, say it's the Saubers, the Hasses, Liam Lawson probably is back there. You've then got the likes of the Williams, probably the Ferraris, realistically, that have then got to build up a gap twice of 2 lots of 20 seconds over the course of the race. So you're just going to have stuff to watch. And I just think we're in for a treat. And also luck plays into it massively, because the thing that would screw you over if you make both your stops at the beginning, and then there is a red flag or a safety car 30 laps in, then all of that risk that you took, you just haven't had pay off. So, I'm gassing myself up for this race now, because I think it's going to be great.
It is a really, really odd one, isn't it? Because it's either going to be fantastic or farcical. It just seems like it's going to be... it's going to be one of three, isn't it? Which kind of covers a lot of bases. Fantastic, farcical, or a bog standard Monaco Grand Prix.
Nothing will change.
Exactly. Or it's just going to be exactly the same as it was.
Exactly.
I mean, I guess it kind of saves you if you, like, damage your wing on lap 1 or something. Because I guess it kind of allows you to get back into the race.
You still require
your
tyre wear still will be offset, because tyre wear will play a factor as it always does, especially on that C6, which again no one will use in the race, I'd imagine.
But could you use it in the race if you've not got to go that far on it?
I guess, yeah. I guess why not?
Really, really interesting, isn't it? To kind of think, it is one of those ones where anything could happen.
I am very excited, and what I really hope, I was using Sauber as example pre-show, but say you've got Hulk and Bortoleto probably qualifying like 16th and 17th or something at best. They should just leave both cars out as long as possible, overtake everyone they can when they pit. So then, I don't know, you're into the dizzy heights of like 8th and 9th with your two Sauber cars. And then they just get Bortoleto to back everyone up.
And then throw away one's race.
Throw away a car and just let Hulkenberg drive off. Because honestly, you can back up cars at least 5 seconds a lap. Magnussen was doing 3 seconds a lap in Jeddah. So you could do 5-10 seconds easily at a track like Monaco.
I think 10 seconds might be a bit difficult, but 5 seconds or so.
Perez did 7 seconds on Hamilton in Abu Dhabi.
Yeah.
Like,
it's mad, isn't it?
You
think you could really... like, just throw But then again, you think that's no different to when it's normally a one-stop race, is it? Because you could just force someone to be 30 seconds behind.
But you've got 2 opportunities to do it now.
Yeah.
Well, there was the year...
But could that then mean someone else just tries to undercut?
Was it 2020?
Because they got 2 opportunities to do that.
Yeah. Was it
2023, wasn't it, at the end?
When Alonso was in the Alpine was about...
That was...
5th?
Yeah.
It must have
been 22, wasn't it? Yeah.
Where he just stopped driving quickly to screw over Lewis Hamilton.
Yeah, it was 40 seconds behind. The rest of the top 5. Just a huge gap in like 20 laps, wasn't it? It was insane.
Exactly. And the good thing is...
it's
bizarre,
really isn't it? What could happen?
Because there will be... Obviously, the strategists run hundreds, thousands of simulations. There will be a best way to run this race, and whether it's, I don't know, 15
But it's
laps
Monaco. It becomes irrelevant instantly.
Exactly. But the guy on pole will be aiming to pit around lap 15 and around lap 45, you'd imagine. Something like that. To go medium, hard on this strategy. But we could just get some chaos. You could just get, like, someone does the whole race and then pits twice in the last 2 laps. Because they're in the lead.
Yeah.
That would be amazing.
It's going to be... Or you pit lap 1 and then pit lap 77.
Exactly. There is a penalty if you don't pit. I think it's like a 25-second penalty.
Normally, yeah.
So
no, I thought if you don't do the tyres, it's just disqualification.
I don't think it is.
Normally it is, if you don't use the mandatory tyres.
No, but you could do a one-stop at Monaco, basically. You use both different tyre compounds.
Yeah.
And then bin off doing your second stop and take the penalty.
I would assume you'd get disqualified.
I don't think it's DSQ. I read it this week.
I would assume in this instance you'll get disqualified. Because it's the same as not doing a mandatory pit stop in a normal Grand Prix, surely. I can't imagine, because then otherwise people would try that.
Well, it's a 30-second time penalty for a driver who has only used two different tyre sets. So if you do a one stop, you get penalised 30 seconds. If you do a no stop, you get disqualified because you've only used one compound. But if it's a red flag situation where you have changed your tyres, but you haven't done a pit stop, you get a minute penalty.
I mean, this is the thing as well, isn't it?
There's
Imagine
so
if we end up in a scenario where everybody pits like once early on, or a few cars pit quite early on, and then if you started behind them and then you get a red flag at like midpoint of the Grand Prix. No, because even then you'd still get screwed over, wouldn't you? Because obviously then they take their second stop under the red flag and you'd still have to pit. It's so basically
so
what you
much.
want to do is be in a scenario where you're right next to your teammate. Is
Yeah.
the only thing we can figure out here, and just throw one of them under the bus.
Well, yeah, it just gives you more to play with, doesn't it? If you have two cars in the game, so Red Bull are going to be
Yeah.
worried, I'd imagine.
Screwed, basically. I mean, Tsunoda might do well. You just never know.
might.
Verstappen might bin it.
But Sonoda's found a habit of crashing at almost every track he goes to at the moment, and Monaco is very easy to crash at.
Yeah, it is true. It is true. Yeah, but the problem is nobody crashes at Monaco anymore, do they? Generally, apart from qualifying in lap 1.
Yeah, exactly. I've gaslit myself into being very hyped for this race. I don't know if you can tell.
Yeah, it's going to be such a weird one, and it's going to be really, really interesting to kind of try and go through and figure everything out. Ultimately, at the end of the day, isn't it? Have we got anything else to kind of talk about with that? We haven't really got a long show in store today, have we, Jamie? I think we're both quite busy with other bits and pieces as well.
But we can do a quiz. I think this
we're going to do my
fun.
quiz, are we?
Because I'm assuming Monaco is your favourite event of the year. I know you talk about it a lot. It's up there.
It's not my favourite. It's up there, but it's not my favourite.
So, and obviously, as we know, Saturday in Monaco is much more important than Sunday, realistically.
Oh, no.
So, going backwards, you're going to name me the pole sitter for the Monaco Grand Prix, as far as you can
Oh, man.
starting with 2024. And if I'll give you one life, because it is hard naming a pole sitter rather than a winner. So
Yeah, you always remember the winners, which is
And
often the pole sitter, but
I'm
weirdly at
looking
Monaco,
for-
often not.
I'm looking for the driver who was
Fastest on Saturday, or
fastest
started
at
the
close
race
of
from-
play on Saturday.
right? Okay.
So if they had grid penalties, it doesn't count. If they didn't
Yep.
start the race, it does count. There's a hint.
Right, okay. So in that instance, you're saying Schumacher. So just to clarify, you're saying Schumacher didn't get poled in 12.
Yes.
But Leclerc did get pole in
Yes.
19 or 21, whenever it was. 21, wasn't it? Okay. 2024 was Charles Leclerc.
Yes, it was.
2023 was Verstappen.
It was. Just, I tell you.
2022, yep, was Perez. No. Ignore me. It wasn't, was it? It was Leclerc again, I believe, actually.
It was Leclerc. There you go. Perez won the race.
He did win the race, yeah. 2021. So in our rules, we're saying that was also Leclerc.
Yes.
2020 obviously didn't happen. 2019 was Lewis.
It was. With the old Niki Lauda tribute, wasn't it?
2018 was Ricciardo.
Mm-hmm.
2017, I believe, was Kimi.
Yes, it was. Which Kimi?
Kimi Räikkönen, of course. Antonelli was about 11.
Yeah.
That's alarming to think about. 2016 was Ricciardo.
Yep.
2015 was... I know Rosberg won, but I feel
How did
like
Rosberg
he took
win?
pole as well. No, was that the year where they messed up the timing on the safety car? Yeah, I think that, yeah, it was 2015 was Lewis, wasn't it, who took
It
pole?
was.
2014 was Rosberg, because how on earth he got away with that? Like, you're a big Rosberg fan. You watched
I
back
am.
that footage. He definitely did that on purpose. Like, he doesn't even hide it well. No one takes 4 stabs at making an apex.
He hit it better than Schumacher did in 2006, I'll tell you that. But
I wouldn't even argue he did a much better job than Schumacher.
I
at
do
hiding
think in Rosberg's autobiography, when he's 60-odd, he'll be like, I knew what I was doing
definitely
there.
did that. It's all. I watched the compilation of like Monaco moments of a couple of years ago, and it's just the fact they always cut from Keke Rosberg talking about Schumacher should go home, and then
Yeah.
immediately after they show Nico doing the same thing.
What I think is he genuinely did lock up the first time, and then in the split-second decision was like,
He broke 50 meters too late.
if I throw
that
it down the
corner.
escape road, Lewis won't get pole. So I think
Yeah.
it was a genuine mistake that he then played to his advantage.
No, and Mercedes wouldn't send the data to the FIA either regarding it as well. So there's the conspiracy
That's,
theory.
That's policy, isn't it? Where are we up to?
No, they
2014.
normally do. So 2014 was Rosberg.
Deservedly so.
2013, I'm pretty certain, was also Rosberg.
It was Mr. Monaco.
2012, Schumacher set fastest lap, but it was Webber that took pole.
You're correct, it was. And then won the race.
2011 was... Oh, this is going to annoy me. I think 2011 was Seb, wasn't it?
Yes, it was.
2010 was Webber.
Yes.
2009 was Button.
Correct. You're doing very well. I'm not sure I'd have got this.
2008 was Lewis. I think.
Incorrect. That's
Oh!
one of your shots.
Who got pole?
Massa got pole.
Was it?
That was the year Massa was leading, wasn't it? And then Hamilton got lucky with the timing of a fuel stop because he hit the wall.
Oh, I can't remember. Perhaps. 2007 was Alonso.
Yes.
That was a ridiculously dominant race by McLaren.
Yep.
2006 was obviously Schumacher Crashgate. Oh, not Crashgate.
He actually didn't crash. He just parked
No.
gate.
So I'm going to assume that was... Oh, was it Alonso? Or was it someone else? Did Fizzy... I don't think Fizzy ever won. I know Jarno Trulli won. No, Fizzy definitely didn't win Monaco, did he? I don't think. I'm going to say Alonso for 06.
Correct.
Raikkonen was 05.
Correct.
Brilliant lap. 04, I believe, was Schumacher.
Incorrect. That's it.
Oh, okay. It was 04. Was that Jarno? It was Jarno Trulli, was it? He took pole, yeah. This is always what people think, is obviously Schumacher was going to win 13 in a row. But he wasn't really even guaranteed to win that race either. Like, Jarno was just quick that weekend. Well, yeah, that helped. Still.
Schumacher probably would have won if he wasn't taken out by... was it
Montoya?
Yeah.
Yeah.
There you go.
Yeah.
But he did well. I'm
that.
not sure I'd have got that far.
Yeah, I made a couple of little errors.
You almost go back to when Monaco was different.
When Monaco was dominated by David Coulthard.
Yeah, exactly.
Back in the day, because Jamie never remembers that one.
Exactly, I don't know. We'd get David Coulthard. I love David Coulthard, he's great. But I never remember he actually was quite good in F1.
He did win a few races from time to time, Jamie. You got to remember that.
He did. Predictions.
Predictions. I got a perfect score in Miami. You then managed to get a perfect score at Imola. So I'm expecting a third perfect score this weekend, and I'm hoping it goes my way once more. But you've already said Leclerc's on pole.
I'm not going for that. I'm sorry. I'll redact.
What are the scores on the doors?
You can go first because you are on 19 and I'm on 26. So it's 7 points.
So, unless I absolutely nail it, you're going to still be ahead of me. Oscar Piastri, Lando Norris, Charles Leclerc. I'm going to put a stupid boring. P3 guess in again.
I saw a different Formula 1 based YouTuber who predicted a Fernando Alonso win.
I've seen... Who was that? I haven't seen that.
That was Tomo. He's actually quite credible, but he's a bit of a clickbaiter, so that's probably why.
He's an incredible clickbaiter. I saw someone, Jamie, that reckons you're... Have you ever heard of the guy Law VS?
No.
People think you're his child. It's incredible.
Really?
We get comments on it occasionally, yeah. Like in his 40s, I would assume.
Ah, well, that's a nice
if you search him, Jamie, you actually look... Exactly. If you search him up, Jamie, you'll genuinely, I think, look like him. He's got like 120,000 subscribers.
Maybe
no, seriously, YouTube him right now.
What's his name?
I'm gonna put it in the Discord for you. Double check his profile.
Oh my word!
That is you. It's actually you from the future.
What? Wow. We need to get him on.
Well, I'm not going to talk to two Jamies in the same podcast. That's my worst nightmare.
The Hulkenberg loss would be too much.
Deary me.
What am I going to say? Because I don't think the Red Bull's going to be that good, to be honest. Given it's only good in high-speed corners and straight lines. Part of me just thinks something weird's going to happen.
Like?
I will go for a normal pole position. Which will be... You know what? No, I won't. I'll go George Russell.
No. George Russell.
He's been close on a few occasions.
Yeah, but Mercedes cannot build a car for Monaco. They never have.
But they've been good on the slower style circuits. He almost got pole in Bahrain, which is slow and medium speed corners.
It depends if it's warm, doesn't it, for
it does,
Mercedes?
I suppose. Let me look at the weather. That might determine what I'm going to say. But Russell's locked
Make
in on
Monaco
pole.
a night race.
It's only 18 degrees, so it's actually not that hot for Monaco.
There's also a chance of rain for qualifying. For qualifying,
there is a little chance of rain. But, yeah. Not on the race date. So I'm going to go Russell on pole.
Okay.
I might go a little George Russell win as well.
Oh, my lord.
I'll go Oscar Piastri in second place. And this is... I want to... Monaco often throws up a random third place finisher.
That's why I went with Leclerc.
I'm going to go Pierre Gasly.
Oh,
in third place.
You don't think Alpine are going to do it again?
Alpine, genuinely, their engine is horrific, but they've got a pretty good chassis.
They have actually developed a pretty decent car around a terrible engine.
Yeah, and Gasly
like
obviously
the
did well in
opposite of
Bahrain.
early
That's what I'm basing
2000s
this on.
Williams. Yeah, it's fair enough.
Ocon got a podium there a few years ago in the Alpine.
Yep. Ocon was generally better at Monaco than Pierre anyway. But
arguably.
it is what it is.
I don't think Williams will be head of the midfield because their strengths lie in a normal circuit, which Monaco is not. I feel like you're going to get
good all round.
They are quite good all round, but I think the Alpine will be strong this weekend, and
fair enough.
The Red Bull won't be so much.
Fair enough. There we go. Predictions locked in. So I've said Piastri, Norris, Leclerc. Jamie said Russell, Piastri, Gasly. So we only both see Oscar Piastri on the podium.
Exactly.
Which is quite impressive. Quite impressive. Have we got anything else to add, Jamie? I think we've rattled through everything we needed to.
I think we've done well. The drivers watched F1 the movie.
Some of them did.
Not Verstappen, because he was busy streaming as Franz Hermann, wasn't he?
Rather than actually spending time with his new kid or doing anything else like that. He was neither doing work
what are you
going to
do with a 7-day-old child?
He's like 3 weeks old now. I'm sure he's walking and talking and everything else.
Probably in the rig, in the sim.
Probably, in the backup rig already. He's got his own iRacing account, everything. Good to go.
Probably got a higher iRating than you.
Probably. He's definitely got a higher iRating than you.
Exactly. I don't own the game. I haven't got anything else to add. Have you?
No. Wonderful. Well, thank you all, as always, so much for listening. Let us know your top 3 predictions down in the comments below. And Jamie and I will be back to talk about how on earth Nico Hülkenberg bagged his first ever Formula 1 podium because of the crazy Monaco Grand Prix. Now, that would be insane.